Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women. Also, to go back to Marvel. Yeah, hey guys, Professor Bell Comic Book University, and I'm excited about the news. I'm just saying, when you think about all of the good stuff that came out of how many years was that? Multiple years, 25 years or something like that. I forget what it was. It was forever. Marvel being in charge of Conan. Wow. It was about as impressive gets. Literally, the history of the Marvel Universe is based on Conan. Now, if they can maintain these rights for a long time from the Robert E. Howard conglomeration, corporation, whatever, they're good. They're good. They're golden. 12 years with Dark Horse Comics, and there's been a couple of good stories here and there. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There's been a couple of good ones, but nothing like with Conan, man. I mean, 275 issues, if I remember correctly, of Conan the Barbarian. I haven't even come close to reading them all, but every one that I've read, it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to get the next one. They're just so hard to find. I have a feeling that's all going to change now. You know, Marvel has always had a problem. Oh, hey, guys. A whole bunch of people here. What's up, Victor? What's up, Sean? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. And Dick, what's up, brother? 6160G, exactly. So, the way I look at it is there is so much history with Marvel. And like I was saying, Marvel has made the mistake many times over of attaching too much of their history to these individual licenses, these properties that they thought they were going to be able to hold for a whole lot longer. I mean, they literally did the best they could and interbred basically their own line, comics lines with them. I mean, when you think about the Hyborian Age and the fact that, you know, like the Serpent Crown affair and everything that has to do with the god Set, yeah, all of these things, Shumagorath. All right, what Shumagorath was actually supposed to be, besides Cthulhu proper, it was actually supposed to be one of the great old ones from that sort of a realm, the Hyborian Age. When you look at some of the Doctor Strange comics, you know, and on top of that, some of the Thor comics too, but I think Doctor Strange more than anything else with s.h.i.e.l.d, Genesis spelled backwards. Excuse me, the entire history of the Marvel Comics is rooted in the fact that it exists as the post-cataclysmic world that happened after the sinking of Atlantis in the Hyborian Age. So, I mean, that's amazing, you know, and so much of that was lost. Now, you think about Circuit Breaker. I don't know if you ever heard of Circuit Breaker. I am a huge Transformers fan. I had all of the Marvel Transformers comic books. I had almost the entire first generation of toys, second generation of toys, and whatever. I think the last one that I bought was Scorponok and one of the other headmasters. I traded one of the smaller headmasters for that, but Scorponok was himself a headmaster, and I had that figure, and just, oh man, I had figures like you would not believe. You know what I'm saying? I've collected a couple more since then. You know what I'm saying? But I gave all of those away. I donated those away a long time ago. Before I thought to myself, these could be worth money, but this is going to a good charity organization for orphans. So, yeah, I'll foot the bill for this one. You know, but I don't really regret it. Not really. But you know, having Shockwave and just, you know, he transforms into an actual working laser gun. I mean, come on, man, that was awesome. Blaster, the little beatbox. Hey, man, Soundwave. You can't beat Soundwave. I don't care who you are, where you come from, you can't beat Soundwave, and that's that. But they made this character called Circuit Breaker for the world. They made this character called the Mechanic. They were really cool characters, but they couldn't use them. And you will see Circuit Breaker one time outside of the Transformers comics, and that's in Secret Wars. I think it's issue number 6. Excuse me, Secret Wars 2. Maybe it's issue number 4. I don't remember exactly which issue it was, but I remember seeing her. I'm like, look at this, you know. So that's actually kind of cool. That's kind of cool. speaking of the Transformers a little bit, I made the video for Visionaries versus the Transformers versus the Visionaries, whatever it was, and I was very shocked to see that that they just threw the Vision, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I was talking about, oh my God, I can't wait. The IDW just announced that they're going to do the Visionaries. Woo! I'm excited, and I did the review. I read the comic and then I did the review. And at first I was saying, I was really disappointed in the idea that they started the Visionaries off in this story. Or apparently they started the Visionaries off in the Transformers story, it looks like. But I'm very disappointed they didn't start them off with their own comic book first. IDW has this expansive universe that they're literally trying to cross over with each other. You're talking about Action Man and the Visionaries. You're talking about Transformers. You're talking about G.I. Joe. You're talking about Mask. I mean, and Rom the Space Knight. You're talking about mixing up so many different companies, properties, I should say, into one shared universe. And it's a bit much right now. So yeah, just immediately mixing them up, I don't think that's very cool, but whatever. But by the end of the comic book, I was shocked. Beyond belief. It was really good. They also killed a major character who was introduced in Transformers the movie, which I was like, oh no, they really killed this character. And I gave it a good grade. I'm like, I was really impressed by how good this comic book was, considering how upset I am that it didn't do what, I expected it to do and just go solo for a little while first. They just right away threw it in the mix. So, positive review, and then, I got a couple comments on there. One of the comments, I didn't even realize it was her. The writer of the comic book actually commented on there, and I just treated like it's whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I think so, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. I like to comment on. I like to respond to everybody. If you just give me yeah, good good comic. I can even if you said good review, I can maybe say thanks. You know what I'm saying? But good comic. I can't even thank you for that. I didn't do the comic. I don't know what to say. So if I can think of something intelligent to respond, I will. So I thought of something positive to respond to her. And, cool. And I just let it go. Whatever. Then I see that she comments on somebody else's thing also the following day. And somebody says, I hope that they get to use their powers. So then and she says, oh, don't worry, they will. So I'm looking, I was like, how the hell does she know? Wait a second. My expert investigative reporting, it turns out this is actually the author of the comic, the writer. So I'm like, oh, okay, play it cool, man, play it cool. So yeah, that's cool. I like that when writers and artists, like I'll get a follow on Twitter, or which I really need to up my game on Twitter a lot. Or I'll move on to something else. Oh wow, I'm seeing a couple extra people in here. It's just one of those things where it's like that always feels good. You know what I'm saying? To see that kind of recognition, and that's one of those kind of things that unfortunately some of these other comic book people, they're just not going to get. They're just not going to get the people who like to rip up their comics and things like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so. Let's see. What do we got here? First off, I see She-Venom in the comments. What's going on? I saw you commented on not this week's Venom, but last week's issue of Venom. So nice, and you're definitely a huge fan. I am really enjoying the Venom comics. Oh, there you go. I love how Eddie calls Venom love and darling. It is actually pretty cool. The new writer is amazing. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm going to stick with the Venom comic or not. We'll see. But I will take a brief look and see what they're doing with Eddie Brock. But yeah. What else we got here? But I am really interested if they're going to do Agent Anti-Venom with Flash Thompson. Oh, I am so down to check that out. I will absolutely give that a shot. Dick Fillmore, did you know Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft were friends? Yes, I did. I knew that Lovecraft was friends with somebody. Yeah. I couldn't remember exactly who it was, but I guess I'm piecing it together with you saying it. Yeah, Conan and Cthulhu also exist in the same universe. Okay, boom, there you go. Because I do know that that there was something that was said a long time ago. Not that I was too young to understand it, but too young to really get it, when they said that Shumagorath was created to be a part of both universes in that regard. That Conan needed a great old one in it. So, no, I didn't know that they actually made it so that they both exist in the same universe. That's actually really cool. I'm totally digging that. She-Venom. Megatron is best in Fall of Cybertron game. You know what? That is a game that I always wanted to play and never got the opportunity to. Or more specifically, I should say, I like to take control of my life. I never took the opportunity to. I never made time to play that game. And badass. Sean Sedrai. I heard Bendis will write some of Action Comics 1000. I figured he would. Because I know that Jurgens is supposed to be gone. I hate the idea of that in some ways, but at the same time, some of what Jurgens has been writing lately is just like, dude, are you kidding me right now? Like, come on, man. So I am glad to see that Bendis is going to be on there. I'd love to see what he's going to do with Superman, the ultimate Boy Scout. Joe Fisher, what's going on? And P.A. Stewart, what's going on, man? Sorry, guys, I'm just not getting over whatever I've got right now. Sean, I have to go somewhere, but do the segment today. Okay, good. Yeah, as long as you sent me something, good. I was actually thinking about that all day. I didn't want to actually check my Twitter because I'm afraid that you were going to send me a message. Venom 161 is Spider-Woman. Nice. What was it that I just read recently? Where he was making, maybe it was an older comic, can't remember, where Spider-Man was commenting on somebody. It was like, good job, hey, thanks for asking me if you could be, if you could use the Spider moniker. Spider-Woman, she literally just came right in and then just like, whatever. Oh, no, Sean, I was actually going back and reading the first issues of the Volume 2 of Spider-Man. So this current run of Spider-Man, which I just started on, I went back and I started reading. Okay, that's where that came from. That's where it was. I think it was issue 1. Issue number 1 or 2. I only read the first 2 so far. She-Venom. Symbiote knows Eddie is lonely and has no friends or family. When Eddie found out, he tried to take care of Symbiote and change his mind. I do like... That's the thing. They've really got to... He was the first one to really use the term we. I mean, he was the first one to really have the symbiote, really, and understand what it was. I always loved the way that Eddie talked when he was Venom. The whole we thing and things like that. The honest to God love system that he's got going. I always did love that about him. Comic book. What do you think? Who do you think would win in a 3-way death battle? Incredible Hulk, Kool-Aid Man, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku? I haven't watched Dragon Ball 3. Dragon Ball 3. I watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I never watched any of the other ones, but I don't remember if Goku ever went Super Saiyan 3 in Dragon Ball Z. I don't remember, but either way, the only one who's actually supposed to be undefeated there, like invincible, would be Goku. So probably have to be Goku. Joe Fisher, both of the game plus flying gives you an incredible, advantage over whomever you're fighting. Joe Fisher, both of the games on Cybertron are fun, but I forget their names. Victor, do you know the stream? The stream is entertaining to listen when I don't read comics at all, and I still enjoy watching. What's going on, man? I hope you read those X-Men Blue comics, man. Those are actually really good. She-Venom, I don't blame Eddie. He just didn't know because it was symbiote anger. Tried to destroy the symbiote, but Flash never tried to hate or destroy the symbiote. He always cared for the symbiote. Yeah, that's the thing. He really did have a motherly. Hulk would drink Kool-Aid, man. He always did kind of have a motherly affection towards the suit. Meanwhile, he went full militaristic. What was great was just recently seeing the Venom Inc. The Venom Inc. Storyline that's going on now. These 6 parts crossing over with Amazing Spider-Man and Venom proper. I liked seeing Lee Price going up against Eddie Brock. I thought that was really cool. And what I kind of want to do is put the other characters out of it, just go away, and give Lee Price a symbiote, and then allow, I don't know what Cletus Cassidy's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? But maybe if he gets the Carnage, or if he gets Phage, or just somebody, anybody. If he gets one of the other symbiote children, you know what I'm saying, and then he can move on. Like that. Riot was always one of my favorites. Like the look when I used to play Riot in Marvel Avengers Alliance, that Facebook game. I loved the character there. So I would love to see, what do you call it, Lee Price actually get another symbiote all to himself, and then do what he does. Because the idea of, like, just using a little bit of the symbiote and simply allowing each of the other characters to be superheroes, so that, to be super villain, super whatever. And it's like, okay, just use your regular powers, but you're under my control. I loved that. And he knew right away Spider-Man was faking him out. He's like, oh, really? You just cracked a joke? He's not under my control anymore. Kill him. Price is amazing. I know a lot of people don't like Lee Price. Nope. I found it's probably because I'm former military myself. I used to hang out with a lot of the Rangers, a whole lot of the Rangers. I was there and feeling their pain when the military said, "Oh yeah, we're all going to switch over to Black Berets now." And the Rangers was like, "Are you kidding me? The Black Berets are kind of our thing." It's like, yeah, now they're going to be everybody's thing. It's like, we're going to switch to tan, and we hate you. I felt their pain, man, So I was like, I'm not going to wear the black beret. I'm just saying, I'm not going to wear it. I'm going to keep using my soft cap, because no, that's disrespectful. I didn't get Ranger Tab certified, so no. But I did get to hang out with them a lot. So, but I was never actually in a Ranger unit. Anyway. So, did you hear Gary Duggan might leave Deadpool? Actually, I heard that he absolutely is leaving Deadpool, Sean. I heard that the Deadpool, or the Marvel Universe kills Deadpool, is actually going to be the end for him. Venom was Dick Fillmore. Venom was best in Amazing Spider-Man 316. Great cover. I'm trying to remember the cover, which one that was, but see, Dick, you and I completely agree on this. That's the reason why I don't read Venom anymore, because I've tried to get into it. I've really tried to get into the way that the character is written in certain other ones. I am going to do a spotlight on story pretty soon on the, which is funny, on the She-Venom, Eddie Brock's wife. You know what I'm saying? I am going to do a spotlight on story of that one of these days soon. I was actually already planning on doing it for the past couple of months, and now with the imitation trailer being released, I started thinking about it even more, like I should definitely do this. Oh, kneecap is killing me. So, what do you call it? So it's just, like, it's interesting. I read it and I'm like, okay, at least it's focusing on a different character right now, and it's not too much on Eddie as the symbiote, because I just don't like the way that people write him anymore. I think that he is an incredible character. He's always had that great relationship with his symbiote. Excuse me, seeing him as that veiled threat, where it's like, dude, I'm hanging out with your Aunt May right now. Hey, welcome home, Pete. How you doing? Just going to put my arm around your aunt right here, and all of a sudden, here comes the symbiote. You know what I'm saying? It's like they both got the exact same strength with the suit on, except Pete has his regular spider strength. Eddie Brock without the Venom suit was able to bench press about 700 pounds. He is a freaking brick house. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, the extra 10 tons that the symbiote allows him to lift because it was attached to Spider-Man for so long. And it's like, oh, so it's technically like having a guy who can bench press 150, 200 pounds against a guy who can bench press 700 pounds. Whoa, so literally he's just messing with it. Like, imagine trying to arm wrestle somebody like that who can bench press 500 pounds more than you. Like, oh my, you would stand no chance. And he's totally just messing with him. He's like, acting like he's going to kill Aunt May. He's like, I'm not going to hurt her. What's up? And Aunt May doesn't realize it's happening. That was the absolute best story. I'm just like, myself, as I'm reading, I get emotional with my comic books. I get really invested, and I'm sitting here reading, and I'm just looking. I was like, this is the scariest thing ever. Oh my god! Like, I went in to check on my mom to make sure there was no symbiote going after her. Like, it was such a great story. It was incredible. It was intense. And now the stories are just like, oh yeah, Venom, Lethal Protector. You're cracking a joke. Oh, I seethed. I brooded. It's like, it just Venom versus Juggernaut. What is this? What am I reading here? So yeah, I didn't like it. I'm just not a fan. Ever since he decided to go with the Lethal Protector route, like it was good, it was interesting, it was a nice way of doing things, but at the same time, you can't just make him another Punisher character. We've already got a Punisher. You're a Punisher with a symbiote. You know what I'm saying? And no, I want him to be a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have to necessarily be the bad guy, but I do want him to have those tendencies. I like seeing him very conflicted, but then I like seeing him being able to align. You know what I'm saying? Like, Flash Thompson is perfect. That he's always trying to keep his symbiote calm. The same symbiote trying to keep it calm. You know what I'm saying? He like actually gets the attachments into his body, the implants, in order to keep the thing calm. So when it suddenly disappears, he's dying because of these implants he did to keep the. It's like that was devotion. He loved that symbiote. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie, meanwhile, like he didn't hate it the way that Spider-Man does, but like just. I loved the diaspora between those two characters and the way that they both treated their symbiote. Just really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the best part of them. And they should just focus on that more. I would love to see more of that. I don't know. Getting a little bit too nostalgic. So, wasn't it Scorn that was with Toxin when it died? I don't remember. I don't remember who was with who. But yeah, it does sound about right. Aaron Nardone, hiya, Professor Bill. What's your feelings on the date for the New Mutants movie changing? Well, okay, that's actually a really good question. So Deadpool has been advanced. Why? Let's face it. And again, I am not an insider. I didn't see some magical tweet and delete that's like, aha, no one else saw that. Unlimited power. No, I don't have any of that, all right? This is just my best guesstimation, all right? Deadpool 2 got moved in the front because they know that's going to sell. As far as New Mutants, Marvel must have seen, or at least, here's the thing. I don't know if they've seen it yet, you know, the cuts and all that stuff. I don't know if they've seen any of that stuff yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they have the right to see any of that stuff yet because they're still undergoing the whole thing with, is it actually a monopoly or not? And I mean, let's be realistic. Disney's got the money; they could turn around and they go to a very corrupt government that we have right now. We've had a corrupt government since freaking 1979. You know what I'm saying? 1978, whatever. Maybe it was 1968, whatever. It was definitely a lot earlier, whatever. It was ever since the midterm of Nixon's era, as far as I'm concerned. Ever since then, both parties are the exact same, and corporations are allowed to make as much donations as much in donation to the government as they want, and on top of that, corporations are considered people. So it's like, if that's the case, well then it's a reason why both parties are the same. They're paid to be weak and whatever. That being the case, it's the easiest thing in the world to simply skirt around a subject. It's like, oh, I'm not making a bribe to a donation, to a bribe to a politician. No. I'm making a donation to their super PAC. That's what it is. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Ugh. So that's all Disney's really got to do, is find the super PAC for just the right number of politicians and say, yeah, listen, made a big donation over here. Kind of want to return on my investment if you ever want to see a further. I'm like, we're Disney. You know that we're going to have more problems in the future and we're going to have to, pay you. So if you want more of this cool money I just gave you, I would consider voting in my favor, and make sure that this thing gets pushed through fast. That's the easiest thing in the world to do right now. Especially you're Disney. Come on. You already rule the world. Go buy a couple of politicians and it's done, right? I mean, everybody else is doing it. Is that a good thing? No. But, so I don't know if they've actually seen the film yet, the rough cut or anything yet. But it sounds to me like they're looking at it as, like case in point, they didn't actually say that Gambit is gone, but obviously something was said where enough people are saying, okay, I'm out. The director, like the third director left, enough people are saying, yeah, this Gambit movie isn't going to be made. All right, the X-Men franchise, all this other stuff. It's like, no, none of this stuff is probably going to be made. It's all being pushed back. It's all being, blacklisted. It's all being looked at as, what, nothing to see here. But New Mutants already had a trailer out. You know what I'm saying? New Mutants, it's like, it's ready. So pushing it back a year to 2019, like the butt end of 2019, is a way of saying, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to see if this fits into our mold or not. We're going to see if maybe we can, do some changes. We're going to see if maybe, it's good enough to put out and like, we're never going to use the characters again. Or yeah, you guys come back and you did Demon Bear, awesome. Let's see what else we could do. You know what I'm saying? What other cool storyline we could do? Let's introduce Warlock. Warlock was introduced during the Demon Bear storyline. You can check out my spotlight on just look up Spotlight on story, type in Demon Bear, you'll find it. So all that good stuff. It would be the easiest thing in the world to just simply bump it back so that then you can look at it with impunity while you actually own the product. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. That's the reason why they moved it back, so that by the time that the deal is finalized, is cinched, you're done. You know what I'm saying? They can look at it and say, are we going to use this or not? So, what else we got here? Ooh. Ever since Kennedy got assassinated, that was a really good way of looking at it. Yeah, ever since Kennedy got assassinated, that also. Dick Fillmore pointing that out. Joe Fisher, wonder if DC isn't government ear. Don't let Disney. Isn't in the government's ear. Don't let Disney have their X-Men and Fantastic Four Marvel stuff back. DC wouldn't have nearly that power, and I don't think that they would really mind. But Warner Brothers, on the other hand, yeah, why not? Why not? Realistically, the only super huge competitor right now for Marvel, if this deal does actually fully go legally through, would be Warner Brothers. After that would be Universal. They're not really close enough to be able to do anything like that, So, let's see. According to SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, according to P.A. Stewart, political donations are covered under the Free Speech Amendment of the Constitution. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that happened in 1979? 1978, I think it was? Whatever. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. So from that point on, none of our donations actually count. None of our donations actually mean anything. Like, for the sake of conversation, you know how seatbelts? I know a lot of people are like, I hate seatbelts. Seatbelts and pollution regulation and all sorts of different safety, health administration acts actually got passed. How big businesses were told, listen, you can't just go and start polluting our neighborhoods anymore. You have to actually have regulations and all these different things. You know how that happened? Because Ralph Nader, way back in the day, went up to Nixon and pretty much screamed in his face and had the backing of so many people and said, hey, this is the way it's going to be. And if you want our votes and if you want our campaign contributions as private citizens, you'll do it. And Nixon was like one of the biggest bullies in the world, who had Kissinger right by him, one of the biggest bullies in the world. Both of them, they literally just backed down like, oh, wow, that would be bad. Okay, sure, we'll do that then. And at the same time, he's like, yeah, listen, Supreme Court, what do you think we could do about, he actually pointed somebody in there, like, what do you think we could do about trying to make it so that big businesses and corporations can do it legally? So, yeah, that was a really big failure. She-Venom, I really miss that he hasn't appeared in the comics yet. Who's this? Who do you miss? Oh, Carnage hasn't appeared in the comics yet. Yeah, we'll see him. And that's the thing, like, Carnage is a special kind of case. When you think about, like, Maximum Carnage, and what was the other big one? Carnage USA? It was called something like that. Maybe that's the exact title, I don't remember. But, like, they were pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They had some really good points. At the same time, it's like, okay, it's a huge, brutal bloodbath, Yeah, it's fun, but let's actually get to something that we can enjoy. You know, because I don't know, Cletus Cassidy to me, like he's a version of the Joker in many ways, but with a lot of power. But you can't just. He's not really that much of a thinking man's villain. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a huge tactical repertoire in his mind. He's just this guy who's willing to do anything to really mess with people. You know what I'm saying? He's just nuts. So you can't overuse him. So honestly, like I'm of the opinion, if you can't think of something to do with, you know, like Carnage or Juggernaut or Doctor Doom, you know, things like that, just don't use them. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I don't know how many people are, you know, so attached to Atuma, you know, and things like that. But like, you want to have like a Atlantis invades kind of thing, you know, by all means, you know, use Atuma. You know what I'm saying? Use some character that nobody really cares about, you know. But don't go and use somebody big like Cletus Cass just for the sake of, you know, oh, I'm gonna make Carnage, New Jersey. Yeah, why? Why? It doesn't even sound like you've got a good plan, dude. So no, if you got a good plan, use him. Use the heck out of him. But if you don't. So I'm actually okay with not having seen him yet. Perfectly fine with that. The reason She-Venom, the reason Flash lose control, it was because the symbiote anger and rage and hate. Yes. And Victor, I personally find them to not have a designated gender themselves, but take on the general gender traits of the host they bond to. I don't remember if the Clintar actually had genders or not. I don't remember that. Joe Fisher, She-Venom. You can see him in the Venom movie. Okay, I just hope it's done right. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, they just really showed Tom Hardy a lot in that. You know what they did do in the thing? Somebody was able to focus in on the notepad that Tom Hardy was carrying, and it said something about the Life Foundation on it, which is kind of cool, because that's where those 5 extra symbiotes came from. You know, so if you've got 5 smaller symbiotes that now that now Eddie Brock has to fight up against, not too shabby. You know, so now you actually got something. There's the creation of the symbiotes and all that, so that could work. You know, I don't have a problem with that. They're at least they're thinking. You know, they're actually looking into the history of the comics as opposed to just just have them out there for whatever reason. You know, like Amazing or like regular Spider-Man 3. Come on. Carnage is going to be in the Venom movie. Yeah, that's what I heard, because why wouldn't he? Carnage versus Wendigo would be cool. Who would possess who? Depends who's eating who. Alright, so a whole bunch of good stuff there, but what do we have over here now? I got a bunch of things written down. Oh, how am I forgetting this when I'm looking right at them? Hey, I don't know if it's the same in the States, but I'm just saying, I got my tickets already for Black Panther. I can't wait to see this. They are predicting an opening weekend of $120 million. Okay? Million or billion? No, that should be million? Okay, 120 something. All right. I actually didn't write it down. I just wrote 120. So like what, $120? I don't feel like looking it up. So literally, it's like either way, they're looking that the opening weekend is going to beat Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I'm digging that. So I am going on February the 15th. Now I thought that the movie was releasing on the 16th. So Canada's weird. You know, Canada's a weird kind of thing. They're literally like, I'll do what I want. Shut up. So we'll see what's up with that. And it's not even like, you know, after midnight that I'm going. No, it's 7:30. I'm going at 7:30. So I was able to get some pretty good tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like the day that they released, my wife was on the way home from work. I was like, yo, pull over, get the tickets. Or get my ticket. I said, get my ticket. Oh, well, so I should get, you know, some tickets? It's like, some tickets? It's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm bringing any friends. It's just going to be me. All right? So, bye-bye. It's like, I want to see the movie, too. Yeah, I know you want to see the movie, but, like, this is last minute. And, like, you know, we don't have a babysitter for the kids. So, you stay home with the kids. I'm going to go watch the movie. And she's like, So, she gave me the tickets. So if she can't get mom to babysit, then I'm going solo. Anyway, yeah. So like I said, I got my tickets. I'm going. Done and done. Watch, she won't be able to get a Victor. Come on over, dude. What do you call it? So, what do you call it? What do you call it? Oh, no, I can't remember what I was gonna say now. Anyway, do you remember when Carnage once became a hero? Yeah, when he was inverted, which was actually kind of dumb. Canada, I'll do what I want, but pardon me. Excuse me. Oh man. So okay, Batfleck. Okay, so here's the thing. The apparently, what is it here? The Batman will be a standalone. So I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or not. It could, they could. That's the thing with DC and with Warner Brothers. They could at any moment just be like, yeah, we're just going to do one film, and it's like it does well. It's like it's a trilogy. It didn't end like it was going to be a trilogy. Shut up! It's going to be a trilogy. You know, they did Man of Steel. All right, did Man of Steel. Can't wait to do Man of Steel 2. We still haven't seen Man of Steel 2. That was supposed to be Batman vs Superman, but they turned it around like, no, we're going to do a DC cinematic universe. It's all connected, just like the Marvel thing. And Man of Steel was the first one. You did not plan on that happening at all. Shut up! Like, come on, man. Come on. They were supposed to have Supergirl. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Warner Brothers was actually, they made it so that there was a Supergirl Easter egg in there, you know? And the only way you could possibly know that is because the people who went first got a free comic book, like a prequel to this movie, to Man of Steel, where they showed that remember when he went and he saw the basically the Fortress of Solitude, which was the ship that crashed. It was a different ship that had crashed in the polar ice caps. Excuse me, and there was one, like all those dead people, and one of the capsules was empty. In the comic book, they showed that was actually Kara, and she got up and then she left. So it's like, oh, Supergirl's in the world. Hello. So like they could have gone there and all these different things. Instead, we have BVS. So now they're talking about doing a Batman movie called The Batman, and Batfleck is not going to be in it. He wants out and all that good stuff. But rather than just saying you're gone, they've decided we're going to give him the option to do one of two different movies. It will be Suicide Squad 2, where he could just, be in and do whatever, or Flashpoint. And every single one of us right now are going, oh God, please let it be Flashpoint, because we want Thomas Wayne in it, and we want the whole crossover thing, because that would just be so awesome. And yes, I'm right there with you. Like, to me, that is just the simplest decision in the world. It's the highlight of Flashpoint was the Thomas Wayne Batman thing. That was just amazing, and yeah, I really want to see that. And maybe a little something, to do with the button where they actually meet. You know what I'm saying? Like how let's be realistic. There will not be a freaking the only dry eyes that will be in that theater will quite literally be the women who are looking at their guys talking about, why are you crying? Shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying. Like, oh my God, that would be so amazing. That would be so amazing. I'll freak out. All right, so what do we got there? Oh, no, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So I'm going to read up this stuff. Oh, and I'm going to do the segment. Canada. Let's see. Victor, gotta have to ride with you to the theater. Don't want to lose you in traffic again. Yeah, by all means. I got plenty of room in my van. Aaron Nardone, that Swamp Thing writer, Winter Special. Holy crap! That Tom King wrote. Do you think that's a one shot? It is a one shot because it's not just Tom King who wrote it. It's also apparently the final work of Len Wein, who just died in August. I think that was. So Len Wein Like the basically the creator for Wolverine, all right, and so many other characters, the creator of Swamp Thing. Yeah. So with him in it, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a one shot, and from what I hear, it's supposed to be absolutely freaking amazing. Granted, I'm hearing it from the writer and all this other stuff, but I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Swamp Thing has got some of the best stories out there, and that's a thing. Whether it's Alan Moore writing them or whomever, they only let people write Swamp Thing who can make amazing stories. And yeah, and plus, let's be realistic. Tom King jumping on doing the winter special thing. Didn't Tom King also write that one Batman comic book where, yes, he did, where Swamp Thing shows up, and it's where we have the second appearance of the modern day, the rebirth version of Kite Man. That was sick. That was sick. Anti-Venom and Eddie is much cooler. She Venom. I'm seeing a bit of a infatuation with Venom, which is not a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. I'm just simply observing. So let's get to the low power mode. Shut up. So let's get to my Twitter. Oh, I just updated Twitter too, which is annoying. Hopefully, I'll know what they switched on here as I'm doing stuff and whatever. Okay, there we go. Oh, sent me art for Venom 161. Well, let's see if it'll actually show. Oh no, this is a Flash War preview. Come on. Come on. Wife is obviously watching Netflix. Okay, so here's the preview for the upcoming Flash. It looks good. If you guys are reading the Flash comic books right now. Oh, actually, that's is that Impulse? Nice. So there's going to be a Flash War coming up. That looks like Impulse. I'm down. Oh, I don't want to start opening all this stuff. Oh, I actually used to have that comic book with that cover of Superman and the Flash racing, and that's actually the Impulse costume there for sure. So okay, nice. Yeah, I'm down with this. I'm down with that. Nightwing cover. Cool. I stopped reading Nightwing just because I can't stand the backup characters. Just can't stand them. Oh, Champions preview. I want to see this as a sitcom. Okay, I can't open this up because, but I really want to read this in the worst way. It's actually Viv Vision and Viv Vision talking to each other, and Vision is in there. It's like I went from having a dead daughter to all of a sudden now I've got two daughters, a human one and the original android one. So what's up with that? That's kind of cool. Oh, yep. An image of Lockjaw in the upcoming Lockjaw comic book. Nice. I'm so down with that. So down. Oh, what's this? And okay, this is the final one, so I'll actually open this one up. Art for Venom, issue number 161. Look how freaking amazing that looks. Kind of freaking out a little bit. That is awesome. Mind you, good art is a nice backup for me, but I'm always more interested in the writer than the artist, and that's just me. That's just me. Anybody's allowed to like whatever they want to like. I mean, if you want to go in there, it's like if the letterer isn't this person, I don't want to what. I'm going to think you're weird, but at the same time, you have every right to demand the letterer that you want. All right. And they're all computer generated at this point anyway, so who cares, right? They're not scribes anymore. So, what have you? The art does look good on there, but I need the writing to be good. The character, the writer has to really know the character that they're writing. It's actually one of the reasons why I love Charles Soule so much, because he's writing a couple of books right now, but he's writing Daredevil amongst them, and I have never liked a version of Matt Murdock as much as I like this version of Matt Murdock. Like unbelievable the way that he's written. So, what do we got here? Victor, Swamp Thing is also my sleeper pick for the Injustice 2 game. Yeah, I could consider playing that one these days too. I just don't. I think you have to have a system to play that, and I have a PS3, and my wife just uses it to watch Netflix. I binge the Marvel series is on Netflix too, so it is what it is. Victor, continuing. I'm sure that'd be crazy about Juggernaut if I had 7 different Juggernauts to fanboy over, like the symbiotes. Ah, man. Actually, yeah. Do you remember what was it? The World War Hulk crossover for the X-Men. There was the Juggernaut didn't have his full power, and he had to go back and he had to make a pact with s.h.i.e.l.d, and it still wasn't as good as he thought it was supposed to be. So it had to be better. And then there was the other time, who else touched? Ah, wow. I'm trying to remember as I was talking. I can't. Somebody else touched the Sidorak gem, and half of Juggernaut's power disappeared. Half of Kane Marco's powers disappeared and went into the other person. Does anybody in the chat remember who that was? Who shared the power of the Juggernaut with the Juggernaut? Ah, man. Can't remember. I have a question. Who is stronger, Symbiote Spider-Man or Venom? Oh, no, it would absolutely be Venom. Either way, it would definitely be Venom. Because, yeah. Okay, yeah, it was Black Tom and the young boy. Okay, thank you, Victor. Yeah, it was Black Tom. That's right. Yeah, like all of a sudden I'm seeing the images of a muscular Black Tom Cassidy with that's Banshee's big brother. That's right. That's funny. And then I remember the young kid had gotten it also, and the young kid would actually have been a better choice, except that he wasn't necessarily as evil as Kane. That was actually an amazing story. Good on you for bringing that up, dude. Because Joe Fisher pointing out the Rogue did also. That's right. Good call. Really good call. But yeah, Victor with the young kid. I don't remember if they actually showed the kid's name or not. But anyway, that was cool because you got to see that the Gem of Sidorak allows you to do many different things. It doesn't just have to be, oh yeah, you're big and strong right now. No, that's just the way that his Kane Marco's ridiculously low reasoning is. He doesn't have the imagination to think of all these other things he could do with it, like controlling reality, like this kid was pretty much doing. Instead, he's just, I'm gonna punch things, and here's my Sunday punch, boom, and it's like, dude, there's so much more you could be doing with that. Oh, nope, just want to punch people. Okay, punch away. Good, punchy. So I like that. That was actually a really, really good story. Like every so often you get one of those really cool stories where you're just like, it's so memorable. So yeah, and it figures Victor would know that Juggernaut mark that he is. Anyway, so it's arguably Sidorak's most powerful artifact. Yeah, it has to be. Even when he goes in and releases the spells, the dimensional spells to people like Doctor Strange and things like that, it's like the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. It's cool and all that, but no, that gem's amazing. I didn't doubt Juggernaut's power. But the one time that I just thought, okay, that's it, Juggernaut's unbeatable right now. If you remember, I think it was X-Force Volume 1, issue number 3 or 4. I think it was issue number 3, whatever it was. Shatterstar actually took his double-bladed sword. And, a lot of people don't realize that Juggernaut doesn't just have incredible body armor all over him. He's actually got this force field, which even when Thor revs up his hammer for an unfettered might and just launches it, it will go and slow down, tink, and then return to Thor. It's like just all of his power involved, and it just barely touches the armor because it has to get through that force field, which is just... Celestials don't have armor as powerful as that force field that he's got, So yeah, to see that that magic is actually able to penetrate. It can protect you against everything except for psychic and magic. Everything else is just ignore it. Psychic protection, that's the reason why the armor is there, the helmet, and the skull cap, but magic can actually penetrate all of that stuff. So Shatterstar stabs him in the eyes with his magical blade, and I'm like, they just blinded the Juggernaut. I remember I was sitting down with my buddy Terrell and Dwight. We were over at Dwight's house. We're at his apartment. We're sitting out front, and it was Terrell who had the comic, and he's like, "Dude, read this." And I'm like, "Okay." Terrell was a little bit bigger than me, so when he said read, I'm, "Oh yes, sir, boss." That was actually really good at fighting. I could always wrestle him down, just skill. Anyway, so I was sitting there reading the comic book as everybody's talking. It's like, "What the frick is this? They just blinded him?" And he's like, "Keep reading." It's like, "What? He can't read?" I'm sitting there reading, and then like within just a couple of panels, he regrows his eyes. I'm like, "Oh my god, that is just," and like he's right over top of him like that. I'm like, "That is the scariest freaking thing ever. That is terrifying. That look of just this gigantic guy and these big teeth staring at you through his big domed helmet. That was a little bit scary. That was a little bit scary. Oh crap! I can't believe I forgot this. With 20th Century Fox going over to Marvel now, certain properties that they have that are also licensed out as comic books, two of them particularly, Avatar, all right? Avatar is one of them. So those comic books should come over to Marvel. Like, literally, they could just simply say, "Yeah, Dark Horse, you've got the rights to this, but not anymore, we're ending it." By the way, Conan is actually supposed to show up mid to late 2019. So we're not going to see Conan for a while, and Dark Horse still gets to kick out amazing stories. Like they literally get to kick it up a notch and just say, "Here's these stories that are going to make you wish that Conan stayed with Dark Horse." And yeah, no, he's not like he used to be. So Dark Horse is also under the threat. Oh, and Red Sonja's not part of that deal, mind you. Red Sonja, even though she first appeared in a Marvel comic book, that's also another one of those stories where they made this incredible character, but the license immediately goes over to the character ownership immediately goes over to the licensee. The licensor, which was the Robert E. Howard Foundation, because, hey, screw you. You know what I'm saying? So if you create a character in our comic book that we license to you, that character becomes our property. Horrible deal. And Marvel will never allow themselves to get into a situation like that again. Guaranteed. Like now they actually have some serious power, especially with Disney in charge. They have some serious power. So it's like, "Hey, we want to do this deal with you where if you create a character," and they're like, "No, we create a character, it's ours. Deal with it." And just, okay, boss. But the other franchise that I'm thinking is going to be pretty impressive, Aliens. Aliens is currently licensed to Dark Horse, but the property rights belong to 20th Century Fox, which is now under the umbrella corporation of Disney, this giant conglomerate beast. So how interesting is that? How terribly interesting is that? So now, like, when I thought about that, the first thing that comes to my mind is Alien versus Brood. Oh, yeah. I am ecstatic for the idea of the possibility of Alien versus Brood. All right, let's wrap this all up here. We got Professor Billow's X-Force Volume 1, 7 and 8 story with Spider-Man in it. Spider-Man, yeah, that's right. Spider-Man was on the front cover and all this stuff. Okay, 7 and 8. Nice, thank you. Thank you very much, Joe Fisher. What's your idea of symbiote xenomorph versus symbiote predator? They're both going to increase in power, but both their powers are just going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the same increase. So the Predator is, on average, still more powerful than the aliens. So, there. And it's funny that you're sitting here talking about that right there as I was just thinking up this stuff for, aliens. But no, I think that the Predator is still going to win. Can you imagine that? A Predator with a symbiote. Oh, my God. So, and the alien's not really going to have that much, he's not going to get smarter. You know what I'm saying? This drone, it's not going to get any smarter. Victor, I can't think of the character who did it, but the one magic character who drained his magic may have been Despair and reduced him to a skeleton, and it didn't even bother him. I think it was Despair. You're missing a comma in there after the D before the Y, but I'm just messing with you. But, yeah, I think actually it was Despair. I do remember he was closely in there. Despair is actually supposed to be part of the Nightmare realm, but there was the crossover, and yeah. Yeah. Nice one. She-Venom. I don't think symbiote can bond with a xenomorph because Xenos has. Oh, that's a good point. Acidic blood. Symbiotes bond with bloods and DNA, so it would burn the symbiote alive. That's actually a really good point. Good. I didn't even think about that one. Victor, when all his magic came back, he regenerated and had his flesh back in seconds. Yes, it was very similar to the Hulk. Okay, so you're just talking about his regeneration. It's very similar to the one time the Hulk fought the UFOs, where he's like, can you guys stop talking for a second? In 3 panels, he completely heals, pretty much. Yeah, like new flesh and everything. Yeah, I like what I I don't remember. Let's see. I don't remember when that happened, when the despair thing happened, but the first time I ever saw him have Juggernaut have a healing factor was in that X-Force parallel. That was, like I said, that was just terrifying to me. I'm like, holy crap. So here's this guy who you can't hurt, and if on the off chance you do hurt him, his healing factor is so much faster than Wolverine's. That's like, literally, eyes. Our eyes can't heal. You cut an eye, done. You know what I'm saying? You can stitch up an eye, but you can't heal an eye. You know what I'm saying? And here it is, this dude actually healed his eyes in seconds. I mean, for crying out loud. Even Psylocke, as awesome as she was, had to get cyborg replacements, you know what I'm saying, for her eyes. A lot of people forget that. Joe, still love when Spider-Man tells X-Force to all dogpile on the Juggernaut. I think he also even mentioned that one ridiculous comic, the two-parter where he was trying to protect Madam Web, and he has Juggernaut walk into the cement, the quick-dry cement, and that's how he stopped the Juggernaut. The comic book was amazing, but it was just a really cheap, lousy way to end the comic book. It's like, come on, man. The second the quick-dry cement dries, he crashes right out of it, so this is dumb. So, yeah, I was not a fan of that at all. Everything that led up to it, yeah, that was great. Spider-Man getting really jacked up and just, I don't have anything left, I don't know what else to do, let me just do this, let me just, cover his eyes and stuff like that. Like, that was great and showed his resolve, It was good for Spider-Man, it was good for everything, but then it was just the way that he ended. But at the same time, you know what? Juggernaut getting beaten like that is not like him getting punked out by all the silly ways he's getting punked out in the comic books today. So I'm actually glad for it. I was like, yeah, he fell in quick-dry cement. By today's standards, that's great. Joe Fisher, Professor Bill and I also have What If Xavier Was the Juggernaut. That was actually really good. And it was a good comic, but I forgot the issue number. Yeah, all those what ifs blend in for me because there were many different volumes. They'd re-release for some reason. I don't know why, and they never actually said it was a different volume. So you'd have several different ones called number 1, which baffled me. So yeah. Plus, they also redid those covers a lot. So you get it, be like, what if Wolverine became the Lord of the Vampires? I thought I had this one, but I don't remember this cover. So, a lot of us would just go by the cover. Like when I was a kid, when I was 14 years old, I couldn't remember all those titles. I'm saying? Not all of them. So, Darkhawk, Sleepwalker, who are these people? Oh, whatever. It's a pretty cool cover. Okay, let me grab this because of the cover and all that stuff. It's a kid, what are you going to do? Victor, he still has all the factors to be such a terrifying foe. He's just getting punked. Yeah, and it's really sad. It's actually very disappointing the way that Juggernaut is being treated. But as I've said in some of my reviews, you go and check out Ed Brisson's work on Iron Fist, and Sabretooth is no longer being treated like a punk, at least in these issues. He is an absolutely amazing character again, and I'm just like, no one else in Marvel is allowed to write this character anymore except for Ed Brisson. I'm done. So yeah, that was good. Also C.B. Cebulski, he is the new editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. Axel Alonso is out. He's no longer even with the company from my understanding, and because whatever, editing has really taken a nosedive as far as I'm concerned. Like, nothing ties into each other anymore. There are no boxes anymore saying, hey, if you remember this issue actually happened over in this comic in the day. It was one of those kind of deals where the editing team actually seemed to care about referencing us back to further issues in the past. And C.B. Cebulski, C.B. Cebulski, Tom Brevoort, Tom Brevoort is the new editor-in-chief, but C.B. Cebulski, when did he actually get promoted to editor? Not editor-in-chief, but to editor. I forget. But anyway, he was apparently instrumental in the deal for getting Conan over. Again, guys, I can't express how much of a big deal this actually is. There's so much of the history that can now come back out again. They can start reprinting those old comic books again, like as far as the Marvel masterpieces. One example, I think I mentioned this on the podcast once before. A lot of people don't remember where Rogue got her, had taken Carol Danvers' abilities. Which comic book did that happen in? When did that happen? I looked in all the X-Men comic books. It's just one day she doesn't have the Carol Danvers abilities. One day she does. What happened? It was actually in Rom the Space Knight. I don't remember exactly which issue it was. I'm trying to remember. Issue 34 is jumping out at me, but I might be wrong. Anyway, yeah, that's when it happened. And since they no longer have the rights to Rom the Space Knight, they can't even reprint the lousy issue. They can't reprint it inside of another, like a trade paperback or a Marvel Masterworks or something like that. That story is lost. It's gone. They can't show that story anymore unless Hasbro comes along and says, Marvel Disney, let's make a deal. So yeah, that is... that's terrible, and that's one of the reasons why Marvel doesn't want to do that stuff anymore. But now, by having these, they can reprint all those old things. They can bring back all those old storylines again, which, boom, we're good. We're golden. Okay, let's just finish this stuff out here really quick. How did you like this week's Agent of S.h.i.e.l.d.? Joe Fisher, I'm a bum, and I didn't watch it. I did not watch it yet. The factors, actually, Xenos are smart hunters, care for each other like family. Oh no, I know they're smart hunters, but they're not innovative. They're not going to come up with a new way of using the symbiote, and start web slinging and stuff like that. They're not going to come up with an idea like that. I loved Alien vs. Predator 3 game. Oh, nice. I care for each other like a family in that. Awesome. Victor, gotta DM me if things start getting better for Juggy, since I don't read the comics. I will. Yeah, I absolutely will, because no, I'm not. I see Venom on the cover of a comic anymore. I'm like, oh great, here's another chance for him to get punked out. She-Venom, do you agree Symbiote Spider-Man should have his own movie or cartoon series, and his love will be only the symbiote? Honestly, if somebody comes along and they're a good writer, that's all I actually care about. Honestly, none of that other stuff really bothers me. So either it works out or it doesn't, If it's a good writer, I will trust the writer to do it. If not, I don't even want to see the story, I don't want to see a story just for the sake of it, because, it leaves that bad taste in your mouth, It's like, I've been waiting for this forever, like I've been waiting for Superman versus Batman to come to a movie forever, and all of a sudden we have the entire Trinity there, and the movie's just kind of like, well, that just happened. I'm still trying to bleach my eyes every other Friday to try and get the taint out. So, and Victor, oh yeah, is gifted a 2-hour special this week. It's on the 15th. Yeah, so this Monday. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's supposed to be like the season finale, if I remember correctly, and it will be a 2-hour yeah, so I've gotta watch that. And that's going to be right after my Nerdarchy game. Guys, make sure you check out Nerdarchy channel every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So this time, but on Mondays. I will run a Marvel superhero face rip role-playing game. So pen and paper, just like Dungeons and Dragons, but only using Marvel superheroes. Yeah. One of these days I'm going to wind up killing one of them again, because just bored. It's about that time, right? Anyway, it's also time for me to bounce out of here. So when I saw the commercial for the first time, it was just Monday, sound like next week. Yeah, I'll be there. Okay, yeah, I know Victor. I know you'll be there. Okay, guys, so I'm out. Thank you so much for being in the chat and all that good stuff. Thank you for being as active as always. And I'm out. I'm probably going to go and lay down for a little while. And then I've got a bunch of Explained in Minutes to do. All right, guys. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.